HarperCollins presents The Official History of Britain, Our Story in Numbers as Told by the Office for National Statistics, by Boris Starling with David Bradbury. Read by Mark Meadows. Foreword by Professor Sir Ian Diamond, UK National Statistician. The great scientist Lord Kelvin once said that if you cannot measure it, you cannot improve it. Britain has a long tradition of measuring things about the life of the country with a view to improving them. True, William the Conqueror commissioned the Doomsday Book to tax his realm rather than improve it, but in a year when coronavirus has sadly turned the spotlight on the weekly deaths figures produced by the Office for National Statistics as never before, it's worth remembering that the tradition of regular reporting of deaths by cause goes back to late Tudor times. Then, the bills of mortality for London were compiled from the returns sent in each week by the clerk of each parish in the city, which was vital knowledge to monitor when bubonic plague was a recurrent threat. The 19th century saw great strides in official data, the census to monitor whether the population was growing or shrinking, and registration of births and deaths to provide comprehensive national data. Florence Nightingale, as well as championing professional standards in nursing, was also a pioneer in the presentation of statistics and became the first woman member of the Royal Statistical Society. Dr. John Snow famously used meticulous record-keeping to establish that cholera, the great scourge of Victorian London, was transmitted by infected water, not foul air. And Charles Babbage, generally remembered for his unsuccessful attempts to build a mechanical computer, is also credited with devising the pre-printed survey form. In the 20th century, the Second World War highlighted the need for reliable statistics to enable the country's leadership to make key decisions. Thus, as this book points out, Winston Churchill, complaining that the utmost confusion is caused when people argue on different statistical data, ordered the establishment of the Central Statistical Office, one of the predecessor organizations of today's Office for National Statistics, to consolidate the efforts of other departments and issue final authoritative working statistics. When my appointment as National Statistician was announced in August 2019, I said that I was looking forward to making use of rich new sources of information to deliver the data that decision-makers across the UK needed, as the ONS and the wider Government Statistical Service empowered Parliament, academia, business and beyond with trusted and quality data. However, I was little expecting that within about 6 months of taking up my post here, the onset of a global pandemic would have created an unprecedented demand from within government, the media and the public as a whole for statistics that were both rapid and reliable regarding what was happening to the country. I'm proud of how well my colleagues here have responded to that challenge. To give one example, the ONS, with its partners, set up the Virus Infection Survey to gauge the prevalence of COVID-19 in the community, going from its announcement to first publication of results in barely 3 weeks. And so I was very gratified to hear that one of the country's leading media commentators on statistics had said that one of the things the pandemic has taught us is the value of timely, accurate, trustworthy, comprehensive information, and added that in producing this new survey, we had done an impressive job in trying to get representative data on the prevalence of the infection. And this year has thrown up other instances of how we've responded, developing new survey questions to measure how British business was responding to the economic challenges and how the population were responding to the various measures introduced to hinder the spread of the pandemic, speeding up the publication of some of our economic indicators, and so on. What has happened this past year is something more or less unprecedented in living memory. There has surely been nothing like this, and on this scale, since the Spanish flu outbreak over 100 years ago now. Indeed, one of the recurring themes of this book is the dramatic effect that the two vast wars of the 20th century had on the life of people in this country. After a year none of us here at the ONS will easily forget, 2021, too, promises to be an important year for us.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?